Okay, people. So, I am in my sewing room, wanting to get to my sewing machine, which is behind that, so that I can make diapers today. I have this beautiful, beautiful cotton fabric, specifically bought for cloth diapers. I was going to use them for Andre, but never really got around to it, right? And he started being potty trained pretty early. So anyway, Amari at some point in his life probably will never outgrow diapers due to no fault of his own, people. But that doesn't mean that he has to be in, commercial diapers, which are not technically good for children because, they're made with plastics, and when those plastics get wet, they absorb into the body, and all my kids grew up with cloth diapers, people. All of them. And they were all potty trained by the time they were 2. Some right at 2, and some a little after, like maybe 2.5 or something, if that. So what I gotta do is I gotta cut them to size. I have a fair amount of this, and now that I have Amari, I'm glad I have them, because I can make stackfuls, people. I have so much cotton, and I'm going to use them mostly, mainly, mainly during the day. I'm going to try and use them as much as I can during the day, and then at night, depending, I may put on a pamper, right? Depends on how much he urinates at night. If I put this on at night, double them up, because you can double them, and then see how wet it is in the morning. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say if he'll not want to be in a wet diaper. He may learn to hold it. You don't know yet until you try. But with Pampers, he'll never learn. No. They're not designed for that, right? And so I'm doing this for that reason as well, right? And then, try and get him into a routine as he ages, sitting on a toilet so that he can signify that he needs to go, and then you put him on a toilet and then he can pee, because he doesn't want to pee in his nice cloth diaper, right? He'll distinguish. He'll know when he's wet, right? With the Pampers, they don't know. They can't tell, right? And then the other reason is, obviously, it will be cost effective. Now, I'm under some program. It's called the at-home program, where the government will top off some things that kids need. And I think from the age of 3 on, if they haven't outgrown diapers, they'll help with that. So it's not like I won't have access to diapers, because probably will, right, through this program. It's the fact that I want him not sitting in a diaper for his whole life. And, maybe he can learn to hold it and to, let you know that he's got to go to the washroom, right? He's still young. And, he does try to communicate. So we just have to, get him into a routine where we can understand what he's trying to tell us, right? Because I'm like, Tisha, what is he saying? Listen to his key sounds and, try and help me figure out what it is that he's trying to say. Do you hear? What does that mean, Amari? What were you saying to Nana? Over there giggling. Are you giggling? Are you giggling? Yeah. You giggling. Is it a giggle? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love you. Amari. Nana loves you. Okay, I know you love me too. So anyway, just to get him out of the diapers, especially long term. And then the benefits around that come in with he's not being exposed to God knows what is in these Pampers as they fill up and swell and gel and do whatever they do, right? Get him out of those as much as possible. And then that, protects his immune system long term. It might, wire his brain where he decides he doesn't like sitting in a wet cloth diaper, so he'll learn to communicate to let you know that he needs to go to the toilet, right? Because sometimes when we put him on the toilet, he'll pee. So if we can get him peeing 70% of the time on the toilet, right? Because we get him into a routine, or he's letting us know that he needs to go, or whatever it is, then that's another good factor around trying this. And then, of course, cost saving, even though at some point I could probably get boxes full of diapers if I asked for them through this program, but I really don't want too many because, it is what it is, people. Like I don't know why my life is like this. I really don't. I tell the workers when I go to, whenever I go there, right, to the program and whatnot, I was telling them, like, when I had 5 kids, and, when you're pregnant, you always worry, right, that something's going to happen, right? And, that didn't happen to me, right? All my kids were bouncy and viable and energetic and, and just progressed along like the average person. But Amari, it's like, I worry for him. I really do. Because I just came across an article, for example, through Facebook feed, where somebody in BC, I have to do a little more research on this, because he was a 41-year-old man, had some kind of disease or neurological problem or something where he couldn't do anything for himself outside of think and somehow communicate through what system, I don't know what. But anyway, the poor dude was pressured into signing papers so that he could have assisted suicide and end his life, because the government of British Columbia, Canada, and their public union employees decided, and it only took 2 public union employees to decide that this man, in-home care workers coming to, look after him, was going to be cut. And because of that, he was left for too long a period without having to pay. He had to pay for himself, but I guess he ran out of money or something. And versus letting him die in the house with their, we'll just say 15 hours of care out of a day, right? And, dying that way as he's waiting for help to show up in 7 hours. They didn't want that to happen. So they muscled him into signing papers so that a doctor could go and inject him as if he was on fucking death row, people. Like, are they now using, and in the United States of America, where they inject people with substances to kill them when they're sitting up on death row, now it's been stated and documented that they're using drugs that they use on animals that are, like, unethical to save costs? Is that what the doctors are going to be doing soon? Using horse killer drugs, on human beings? So I think of Amari. Oh, sure, until the age of 18, people. Until the age of 18, it's all cuddly, ooey, ooey baby. Ooh, the baby. We all care about the baby. We do this for the baby. It's all about the baby. But that man was 41 years old. He was a thinking human being, and he was forced to kill himself with the assistance of a doctor that may or may not have used horse tranquilizer to do it. That's how corrupt our hospital and healthcare system is. Right? So, do you honestly think those kind of people that do that kind of stuff are going to want to be packing around Amari in, what is it called, hoists, to move him from one spot to another spot? Because by that time, he'll be a big grown man who can't move, really. Right? Like in terms of, he can move, he can shimmy on the floor, he can roll over, but he can't pick himself up and put him in a fucking chair, himself in a chair. He can't get up and walk to bed, change his clothes, put himself in bed, and then get up in the morning and get out of bed. He can't do those things. And because he can't do those things, right? That right there devalues his life, right? And this man who just allowed some fucking probably immigrant doctor kill him because he signed a piece of paper saying it was okay, even though he was denied the number of hours in terms of 24 hours of care, I guess, right? Because he was at 20, then they put him down to 15, and because he couldn't afford to pay what he was already paying, that was it. It was done. Right? And for insurance purposes, the hospital muscled him, and their staff and their bully staff muscled him to kill himself with the assistance of a freaking immigrant doctor that probably just seen him as a parasite, a useless eater, right? Because that's what society has come down to. Yeah. And Amari's coming up in the ranks with his special needs. It's frightening, people. And to know that you're not going to live that long to fight for him, you know, to try and protect him, right? Like, he's going to now go see a neurologist, which is a brain doctor, as if I trust them, right? At the Surrey Memorial Hospital, of all places, people. If that isn't gaslighting, I don't know what is. Right? I guess to do an MRI somewhere won't be at the Surrey Memorial Hospital to determine what part of his brain is injured and quite possibly why. As if I would get the truth, people. As if I would get the truth that Amari was injured at birth, at the time of birth, through their C-section. Whether it had something to do with too much anesthesia, or whether it's because she went in 2 days prior complaining about pains and they just sent her home both days. And then when she went in on the third day, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but, you know, all of a sudden after 12 hours it became an emergency C-section. And he came out twitching and jumping, and they completely ignored it and wanted to accuse the mother of doing drugs, even though it was their drug that put any kind of opiate into his pee based on that so-called C-section. It's just mindfuckery, right? So, anyway, I'm getting this cleared off. I'm going to make as many diapers as I can today. One, because I want to move on with this fabric, and two, I want to start using them. All right, let's see if he notices, which I'm pretty sure he will, because he's sensitive that way. There's my little Black Widow bike. What do you think about that? Huh? These are cool. They're metal. Here's another one. I like stuff like this. that pretty? Pretty little baby. Well, what do you know? What do you think, people? What's going on with this camera? There we go. Okay. Obviously, I'm in the sewing room, aka War Room 2. Right. Look at that. What's that? It looks like that little baby doll right there. So anyway, at some point today, I'm going to comb her hair. I want to make a little story around it for ShaMay. I have a lot of dolls. I bought them off of Facebook. Big box, 2 of them full. For ShaMay, for when she's older. So that's one of the dolls that were in the box. I want to comb up her hair and, you know, find some time to sit down with ShaMay and make up a story, and then obviously write it out for her, right? So that when she gets older and she gets her dolls, she'll have the story for each doll. That's the idea. But I am sitting in here wondering how I should change thread, because I'm working on a machine that I bought, oh God, maybe in 2012. Something like that. I bought it in a pawn shop. And the last time I checked it, which was a while ago, it was working. And it sounds really nice. And it can do all kinds of crazy crap on it, right? And it was made in Sweden, so you know it's a good product. I had to print out the directions, right? And I'm glad I did, because I don't know how to thread this thing. I don't know how to wind bobbins on this thing. I don't really know anything, right? One, because I don't use it. Never have a chance. And 2, because I don't use it. If I was using it all the time, I would know. I don't. So it's almost like I'm having to start from scratch, just so I can change the bobbin to a white thread, change my thread to a white thread, so that I can saw up. See, my mind's still in the yard, people, with those skill saws. I'm moving slow. See, I already cut a piece. I don't remember the exact size. I'm pretty sure it's almost equal to a square, right? So now I'm going to, I've cut them, so this one here on this side is okay. It won't fray, but as you wash, it's going to fray here. So what I have to do, really technically, oh, this is going to be so time consuming. But it will be worth it in the end, people. Technically, my table should be, because I'm currently just cutting these on the floor in the living room. I really want to be using my sewing table with an iron to give it, just to press it a bit. And then especially these, because you have to roll them over. I think I'm just going to upload this video after I muck around with you in here for a while and just not get all stressed out about it and just try and pace myself through it, because tomorrow I have to go downstairs and start getting ready to paint and whatnot. So you see, you have to fold it over. Well, technically, because it's been so long since I've done this, I mean, yeah. Really what I should do is I should run this edge through a serger. Through a serger. I don't know what's better. Through a serger and then fold it over once. And it will be serged. And then just top stitch it. If one thread breaks, it's going to run, doesn't matter. But if you don't have a serger, you'd still have to secure the end. So in this case, you'd have to roll it over twice. And don't forget, people, my eyes are going on me. Things are getting darker. Not only are they getting blurrier sometimes, but they get darker. Like just everything dark. Probably has something to do with these dollar glasses. But these are the only glasses that I can look at when it comes to computer. My reading glasses, I think, and they better be, are in here somewhere on that table. Because I'll need them for that, because these are not strong enough for me to see the needle with the thread. So in this case, right, you can see, oops, take it like that, and then you fold it over, and you do that through the whole thing, right, and this is where pressing it would come in handy, because then it's not going to be so apt to unfold. However, it might be suffice just to get to my serger over there and run the one end through the serger and then just fold it over once, because what's going to end up happening in this part here is you're going to get too much bulk. You don't need this extra bulk on the seams like this. You want it pretty streamlined, right? But you have to secure the seams, because otherwise when you wash your diapers it's just going to fray like a rag with no edging on it. And then you'd come along and you'd sew, and to be double sure that it doesn't open up through multiple washes, you double stitch it. And then you'd have yourself a quality diaper that will last you a long time. So two ways. You can do it that way, which at this point, that's probably what I'm going to do just for convenience purposes, because I'm not in the mood to be moving all that stuff from my serger. Or you can serge it and then fold it over once, which would work because you've got the threads from the serger preserving your seams. Your, this part. Anyway.
Sorry?
Well, not really. I'm just doing a little video here explaining what I'm going to do. I don't know how to use this sewing machine.
Yes, I do.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah, I only used it because it already had thread and whatever, but I need to change the thread. I don't want dark thread on my diapers. I want white thread on my diapers. So now I have to read.
How about red thread?
No, because it's white. So now I have to read and figure this out, and who knows how long that's going to take. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to upload this as is for now. Nothing exciting going on. All right. You're doing good, Amari. Keep playing. Play for Nana. Come on, I want to hear it. Wow, you're really whacking that. You're really whacking it. Pushing those buttons up there too? Oh yeah. You like this, don't you? Sing, Fernanda. Come on, sing. You were singing earlier. Sing. Okay, I'm back. So, what happens, people, when my life slows down like this? It's not like the good old days. In the good old days, I didn't have huge panic attacks thinking about taking 2 days or whatever it is, depending on how much I can sew, to make diapers, even though I need those diapers, right? It's like a big cloak of anxiety combined with depression, and then of course panic attacks kick in, and then more depression, because it's like I tell Tisha, like, I miss my family, even though I have family with me. I miss Uncle John, I miss ShaMay. Not so much Brooks, because he's always been independent. From the time he was 2 years old, he was just pretty much independent. And over the years, as he aged, it became pretty apparent, right, that he was independent. So I don't necessarily miss Brooks like I do the way I miss Uncle John and the way I miss, ShaMay, right? I never even got to say goodbye to them people. Uncle John just ripped up from underneath the feet there, right? And I felt so bad for him and the kids, and then, ShaMay, I feel like I sent her down to her death, right? Because I asked her to go downstairs, even though in the morning I heard her singing to the baby and talking to Tisha for an hour. But, I still feel if I just would have kept her upstairs that night, let her stay wherever she wanted to just be. She was at the couch at the time, right? I should have just sent her to bed, right? Go in the bedroom. I'll sleep on the couch, Andre will sleep on the floor, right? Whatever, right? That's just stupid. I was sleeping on the couch in those days. I still sleep on the couch, people. I've been sleeping on a couch for years. It goes par and parcel with that squalor in Canada, right? No, not that part. That part is, I have too much fabric in my bedroom that I need to get into. And that's why I'm taking ShaMay's old bedroom and dubbing it AKA Auntie ShaMay's room / storage room / sewing room. So we can start getting into that. It just so happens I'm starting off with cloth diapers, right? As I'm thinking about little outfits for the kids, right? So, but I'm having anxiety, panic attacks, and I'm feeling guilty for not working at a high pace, lifting this, doing that, climbing, whatever, right? Because those things still need to be done, but it's not happening today. So I guess I'm going to try and figure out how to change the threads on this. And once I change the threads on this, I may clear off the table as best I cleared off a little bit. So I may continue to clear it off. And then just chop, fold, sew. I'm not even going to worry about serging. I can at least do 1 to 2 stacks of diapers with this method, because I have lots of this cotton, because when I bought it, I bought lots of it at the time. So as long as you have 24 to 36, at least 36 diapers, that should be enough to get you through for about 3 days, because you go on 3-day cycles, right? You wash every 3 days, approximately every 3 days. And it's nothing like having a nice fresh load of diapers that just came out of the dryer, and then you sit down and you fold them up. Oh, and then you got this nice big stack of fresh, clean diapers. Oh, it's good. In those days, I wouldn't have had panic attacks. I would have just moved forward with my life, thinking that life was safe, that my kids had a future, that you could move forward. Basically, I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I'm stuck between two worlds. That's what I tell Tisha. I'm stuck between this world with everybody here, and then I'm stuck with the world with, ShaMay and Uncle John, and, there's a part of me that is over there and wants to be there. So I'm in the middle of two worlds, and I'm thinking, and it's such a strong, strong, strong feeling. I get waves of that feeling, and I wonder if it has anything to do with the way Uncle John died and the way ShaMay died. And maybe it's just their spirits that are stuck between the two worlds, not necessarily mine. But I can't do anything about that, people, because I can't control other people and their deviant behavior when it comes to harming and injuring others. So anyway, I'm going to just upload this now and try and breathe. Right? Don't worry about that. Don't worry. You just get these diapers. You've been wanting to do these diapers for months and months and months and months and months and months. And now that you've actually started to, I just need to focus on making diapers today, people. Okay, so maybe we'll finish it here. I'm wearing my reading glasses so now I can see, right? I haven't done this in a very long time, people. I like my old FAF machine because the needle sticks in the when you're done. I don't know. This might do it, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. See, I can't use my FAF because my son used it one time and I think he cranked the wheel the wrong way. I took it in to get it repaired, but they never repaired it. Now, mind you, I didn't take it to the actual company that works with those machines. But one day, I had this one, so I pulled out this one. Right, and I'm glad I did buy this one because if you notice, this one sounds really nice. And if I bought it in 2012 or something like that, it's been sitting around how many years, people? And listen how it's riding. I mean, listen to how it's running. It's a very quiet machine. And like I said, it does all kinds of fancy stuff on it. So, and because it's from Sweden, it's like a machine from Germany. It will be very well made. Yeah. So, if you want, you can stitch it again. But, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that right now. Just using up what's on the bobbin there. And then after that bobbin's empty, I want to take out what little bit of brown I have on here. And then I'm going to try and thread some bobbins. Right, the chances of the thread breaking, but after a while, the thing is, you know, you use these quite a bit. But again, I'm thinking maybe sergering might be better because the seam is kind of like thick. Whereas if you serged it, then flipped it over once and then sawed it. I know I went again with the word saw. Sewed it, right? That seam isn't going to be as hem, I guess you can say. It's more like a hem. That hem won't be so thick. Right? Because I can't remember how to fold this. Hold on. He's singing. I'm trying to catch him singing. Oh, he gets so excited, people, when he sees his piano. He really likes his piano. He has more than one. Right? I'm going to get him a really good one. From Long and McQuaid. Right. Just one up from the two that I already have. I'm not sure yet. Take him in. Get a special one for him. Okay, so anyway. See, there's that seam, right? I think serging and just folding over once would be better in terms of no bulk, right? But you can still cover up with the one with no seam here. Do you see? And there's the seam up there, and there's the seam. All right. This is how you do it for a boy. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Right, so depending on how wide you can see. Right, so maybe a little smaller for Amari. He's got a small waist. Hold on a minute. So, oops. Like that. Right. Basically, you have to be fancy. Then you bring that down. Right. See, there's that seam again, right? You want it more, not so noticeable. Folding it twice makes it noticeable. So I still might have to get into my serger. And then you just take the end, and you go like that. Right, so then, see that part goes right in the front for a boy. Basically, goes like that. You take diaper pins, which I should have. You pin, and you pin. And then you can double diaper as well. Right. I don't know. See, you can adjust it. Well, I have rubber pants around, but at some point I'm going to have to make. Hold on. Okay, so if you do this, you got to use like baby diaper pins. You can't just use standard, because they have a locking mechanism in them, right? They're made specifically for diapers with babies, right? So, because they lock, right? And then this is how you do it. Ouch. All right. Anyway. It's been a long time since I've done this, people. All right. But I'm on the outside. Do they even make diaper pins anymore? Right. And then because of Amari's hips, I double diaper. The doctor said double diapering doesn't work. They used to think it did, but it's okay. We can still double diaper, because you can double diaper those no problem.